Hello, students. We'll be talking about the concept of rasa and bhav as mentioned in the Natya Shastra. And we'll be taking up this very briefly because, as per our syllabus of MGSU, the first chapter or the commentary on the first chapter of Natya Shastra by Kapila Vatsyayan talks about the concept of authorship. But we need to understand and summarize the Natya Shastra, its constituent elements, and the division. And we begin with the concept of rasa as defined by Bharat Muni himself. According to Bharat Muni, rasa is realization of one's consciousness as colored by emotions. Now we need to understand that rasa is an objective entity, according to Bharat, which is tasted and enjoyed by the spectators or by the beholders on the stage. How does this happen is that it is simply a transformation of the sthai bhav, that is the basic mental state of the hero, the poet, the actor, the spectator. And when the author or the poet he comes to acquire and imbibe this basic sentiment from the text or the story, or say from the hero's sthai bhav, it becomes the poet's sthai bhav during the creation. That is, in the second definition, he says that rasa and emotions cannot be expressed directly through words, their essence being immediate experience. Now, this experience word is evoked, or we can say the sthai bhav of the hero is evoked, or say to himself or the on the stage, and the spectator relishes the same emotions. Now, to simplify this, it means that rasa, what we know as the aesthetic sentiment, it does not reside in the hero, it resides in the spectator. This we have to be very clear, that it is not residing in the hero because he is simply performing on the stage. The rasa resides in the spectator who has rasanubhuti. And why rasanubhuti is the second, see the second line in the slide, essence being immediate experience. This is rasanubhuti, the aesthetic experience, which is filled with or say impregnated with pleasure or generalization or certain vibhavs of transitory emotions, and they can only be suggested by words. Um, as we go on to read about this, or we read particular text and discuss it in the context of Indian aesthetic school and the concept of rasa, we'll have more clarity. So the essence of the immediate experience is only suggested by words. Now, the Natya Shastra, it talks about acting, dance, music, and rasa primarily. But interestingly, acting, dance, and music are simply the means of presentation of rasa. Say all of them, acting, dance, and music, all of them, they represent and present rasa. So this is what we call as Ras Siddhant, because the theory or the theory of rasa, it is built on the concept, or the foundation is that human feelings and emotions or the bhavs, they are further classified and they give rise to these rasas. Let us know something more about the sthai bhav. The rasa theory, it is built around the concept of bhav. One is vibhav, sthai bhav, sanchari bhav, anubhav, and satvik bhav. So vibhav, vibhav is simply the cause of the action of an emotion, the determinant factor of the rise of the emotion. And what we know as anubhav is the gestures which express what is going in the mind of the character. Say, for example, creating a very horrified glance, or heaving a sigh, or crying, shedding a tear. These are all anubhavs. And then we have Sanchari Bhav. Now, this Sanchari Bhav is delineated principally, it's temporarily, because Thai is merely an awakened feeling. But for example, when we see Rati or love on the stage through the god or the preceptor, the Sanchari Bhav is delineated. And then we have the Sattvic Bhav. It is a kind of a bhav which is more than a basic sentiment in all the readers, and it is consummated as the play or the poetry or the natak moves. But for all of them, the Sahriday, that is the sensitive reader, what we call as the sensitive reader, he experiences all these rasas and is transported into a kind of an aesthetic sentiment. Now, how these rasas are produced, Bharat he enumerates 49 bhav, and he makes a claim about the range of human experience, because if we have 49 bhavs, we can simply understand that how vast the range is of the bhavs. Rudra creates this fury. Then we have Karunya, that is Karuna, which is compassion and mercy. Then we have Vibhast, which is aversion, sort of disgust towards, and Bhayanak or Bhayankar, which is terror and horror. Then we have Virras, which is heroism or the qualities which a hero possesses. Then we have Adbhut Ras, which is wonder and amazement. So we are transported into a world of wonder and amazement through this rasa. Shantam Ras and Vatsalya, these were the rasas which were added later on, which were the additional rasas added later on by Abhinav Gupta. And Bhakti also was added lately um, among these rasas. Now, coming to bhav, what bhav means is it simply is a mental state, or we can call it feelings, some kind of psychological states and emotions. When we talk about it in the context of Natya Shastra or performance, it refers to the emotions which are represented through the performance, uh, as defined in the Natya Shastra. Bhav are actually conveyed through many there are the many constituent elements of it. Words can be one of them, gestures is another, representation of sattva is another meaning or mode of conveying the bhav, is because they infuse some kind of bhavyanti, that is some kind of bhav, and adds meaning into the to the play or the natak, and takes the readers transported into a world which the author has conceived.